Hello everyone. Welcome to this tutorial about commissions, part of the sales management functionality in Attendo.
In this video, we will go into the configuration of commission calculation and commission payment, as well as the relationship with the different documents.
We will look at setup steps to define parameters to calculate sales commissions. Also, this process includes defining how commissions are paid to the sales representative. We will also see an example of the functional process to generate commissions and the invoice to finally pay the commission to the sales representative.
Good. How is the overall flow for this functionality?
Everything starts from the commission window where the general information for the calculation of commissions is configured in the header, such as the sales representative to whom the commission will be calculated, the frequency to filter sales of a time range, the documents involved, since commissions can be applied to sales invoices or orders, among other requirements. Then in the lines, you define specific configurations, starting with filters applicable to all invoices or orders, such as business partner, product, region, among others, and then the commission percentage to be applied to those invoices, or the fixed amount to be applied in case of commission payment per unit sold. Something important is that when creating documents such as sales invoices and orders, it is possible to define the sales representative who will receive the commission. This allows you to filter only the documents associated with the sales representative and make a more granular management. Once the conditions are defined, the commission is generated, which can be seen in the commission payment window, where you can see a line-by-line detail of the calculation made based on the previous settings. Even from this same window, it is also possible to generate the purchase invoice to pay the commission to the sales representative.
Interesting. It really seems to cover a lot of ground. So first things first, how does the setup process work?
Well, the configuration happens in the commission window. All the information you select from this window will be key to create the commission you want.
Can you walk me through an example?
Sure, but before that, commissions are calculated based on sales orders or invoices. So as we can see, we have some generated in the April month. These sales are from two different business partners with different products and product categories. Although, note that the sales representative is defined in each document and is the same. Now back to the commissions window. First define a name to identify the commission, then select the salesperson to be paid and define the commission payment concept in the product dropdown, which has been used at the time of generating the purchase invoice, in this case, sales commission.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the timing of the commission? Can you control that?
Yes, you can set a frequency for the commission calculation, like monthly in our example, and the basis status field is useful to define whether to calculate commissions based on all documents or only fully paid documents. Remember that commissions can only apply to sales order or sales invoice documents.
And what about the calculation itself? Is it always on the total amount?
Not necessarily. The base amount field allows you to choose whether to calculate based on the net amount or the profit margin. We'll choose net amount in our example.
And what kind of information can you configure from the lines?
In the Lines tab, you can define specific conditions and filters. By default, if no filter is applied, the commission will apply to all sales. Alternatively, if you select the Based on Sales Representative checkbox, the commission will be calculated only for the sales representatives specified in the header rather than for all sales.
Okay, I see the options like business partner, product category, product and sales region. I guess you can define how much commission to apply by filtering the sales according to these conditions and, for example, give a percentage to soft drinks and another to alcoholic beverages, right?
That's correct. As I mentioned before, this window allows you to define each parameter as desired.
What about calculating the commission amount itself?
You can define a commission based on quantity of products sold or on amount or percentage of sales. For our example, let's say for sales in the alcoholic drinks category, we want to give a 10% of the net amount. That's where the multiplier amount field comes in.
Got it. So the multiplier amount is a percentage or a direct multiplier of the sales amount. What if we wanted to give a commission based on the quantity sold instead?
We can also do this using the multiplier quantity field. To do this, we create a new line, and let's imagine that for each cherry cola, we want to give the representative a fixed commission of $1. We filter for the product cherry cola. As we can see, we have to select it according to the price list we are using, and we will enter 1 in the multiplier quantity field. The system will multiply the number of products sold by $1 to calculate the commission for that line.
Okay, so we can have different lines with different conditions and calculation methods.
Exactly. You can create several lines in the Lines tab to cover various scenarios. In addition, the option to generate cascading lines allows you to manage complex commissions, Differentiating amounts, for example, apply a 10% general commission to the entire soft drinks category, but 50% to the cherry cola product and exclude lemonade from the calculation.
Okay, I understand that there are many possible combinations of configurations and that they can be applied to incentivize certain products, regions, or categories, differentiating commissions.
That's right, you got it perfectly. In summary, going back to our configuration, we will generate a 10% commission on products in the alcoholic category and $1 for each unit of cherry cola sold. Running the generate commission process, we select in our case the beginning of April and calculate the monthly commission.
Okay, so after we've set up our commission rules and generated the commission, what's the next step? You mentioned the commission payment window.
Exactly. This window is where the commissions you've calculated appear. It's not for editing the commission calculation itself. That's all done in the commission window. Instead, it allows you to review the calculated commissions.
That's great. Here we can see a commission calculated on 10% of the sales of alcoholic beverages, and another one for the amount calculated for the 20 units of cherry cola sold.
And finally, you can generate a purchase invoice for the sales representative with the conditions specified in the original commission setup. If you visit the purchase invoice window, you will see the generated invoice to the sales representative with the corresponding concept and calculated commission. You can make the payment and register it in your financial account. And that was it. We went through the complete flow of how to set up and calculate commissions, up to generating the invoice to pay the sales representative.
That's all for now. For more information, check the description below.
See you in the next video.